Welcome to another episode of Chappy Hour. I'm your host, Chloë Chapdelaine, and today we have on somebody who it's her first time doing a podcast. Welcome, Colby.
Woo.
Like I said, this is Colby's first time ever being on a podcast, but I am so excited for her to be on today because she is just a load of fun, and I cannot wait to have you on. I met Colby through Socality when I was at a Socality event. I personally work for Socality, and since I've learned a lot about her and we have a ton in common. She likes to hike. She's an amazing creator. She has a lot of cool, really things about her. I love her style. And Colby, tell me a little bit about yourself and what you do.
So I actually moved to Calgary last August from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I got up and left and I said, I can't do this city anymore. And Calgary is where I needed to be. And so far it has proven to be 100% true that this city is everything that I needed it to be. I currently just live by myself. I have 2 cats. Collectively, with my mom, I have 6 cats. So I am a huge cat lover. Call me a crazy cat lady. Like Chloe said, you know, I love being outdoors. I do content creation, photography, modeling, and I'm just living my best life.
She really is. And she's also somebody who is my age. And I think it's really cool to be able to meet friends as an adult because I feel like making friends as an adult is hard, especially, you know, just like putting yourself out there. It's really uncomfortable. And so it's nice to meet other people your own age, especially because you just moved to Calgary.
Yeah, absolutely. I've had a lot of like female friendship struggles over the year. I definitely have gone out of my comfort zone with trying to like make female friends specifically. And so far being in Calgary, like I said, it's not disappointing at all.
So today on the podcast, Colby and I, we kind of made our own drink that we are drinking. And I don't really know what to call it, but I think it's just basically a pink margarita-ish.
Yeah.
How would you describe this?
A pink margarita with, it was supposed to have some carbonation, but we failed on that.
I failed on that.
So it's a little like a sad pink margarita.
It's like a sad pink margarita. It's like a broken flamingo, we could call it, or something like that. It was supposed to be a margarita, so we used On the Rocks margarita mix that I had. So we used that, we put it on the rocks. Then I was supposed to add soda, and I used my Soda Stream, but I think the seal is going on it, so when I carbonate my drinks, it doesn't carbonate them as well, and I didn't do it enough, and it just spilled everywhere. And so it was like, I thought I was adding carbonated water, but I was just adding regular water to it. It was supposed to be like soda, and then we added a splash of grenadine because they needed a little bit of sweetness.
Yeah, and a little bit of lime as well.
And a little bit of lime. Yeah, a squirt of lime. But we're going to grab our drinks. And if you have one too, make sure you grab yours. Raise your drink and cheers. Welcome to Chappy Hour. It's kind of like happy hour, but with me, Chloë Chapdelaine, where I catch up with a friend over drinks. It doesn't need to be 5 o'clock to join, so grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and let's get started. Cheers. We are going to dive right into the I'll Take a Double section of this podcast where we start off strong with a life hack. And both of us have a life hack here today. And my life hack has to do with coffee because I love coffee. I know there are so many people who are health gurus on the internet saying, give up your morning coffee. I can't do it yet. I can't do it. But getting more protein in the morning is something that I love to do. And I have been experimenting with different ways to add protein to my coffee in the morning because if I'm going to have a coffee, I want to make it better for me than just a cup of coffee where I get all jittery and don't feel as good. And I know that eating protein in the morning, very first thing, makes me feel better throughout the day. Like, honestly, I think it helps with my ADHD symptoms. It just like helps me feel sustained longer. And one way that I've been doing that is I've tried with adding Premier Protein. You know,
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, so you can add that directly to your coffee. Yeah. But another type of protein drink that I tried just for the first time this week, and I'm obsessed with it, is the Fairlife protein shakes.
I think I've seen those on like social media, them talking about like Fairlife, and
yeah.
I've personally have never tried it, but yeah, I did a collab with Premier Protein.
You did?
And I did, and like I showed like, you know, you can mix it with like a smoothie or whatever, but then I also did it with coffee as well.
No way.
Yeah, I think I did the caramel one.
So you know this life hack.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So okay, the caramel one is what I previously was adding to my coffee all the time. It's so good in coffee.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think it's awesome. But if you ever get your hands on the Fairlife, I just tried the vanilla one, but the chocolate one is just as good. Try them. They are so good.
Absolutely. They actually had really good ones in, I don't remember the brand, but in Peru. They had like a cookies and cream one.
What?
And I drank them all the time.
Sounds so amazing. Because I feel like drinking your protein is just such an easy way to get protein in instead of like eating, I don't know, a big meal.
And I'm the type of person who like, I can't be that girly who has like 6 drinks going at once. So if I can mix like my protein drink into like a coffee, then that's like one less drink I need to worry about.
I feel you. I am a 6 drink girl.
No.
I'll do it. But you got to do what you got to do. But what is your life hack for the I'll take a double section?
My life hack, and some may say this is a little controversial, but it's like my life hack right now to getting things that I want in life is manifesting the shit out of my life right now.
Yes.
I made a vision board this year at the beginning of the year. It's now my like laptop screensaver. I had made one like last year too, but I don't think I really embodied the vision of it. Whereas this year I put stuff on my vision board that was 1, attainable, but 2, not too far of a reach either. And I think sometimes people need to realize that with like manifestation boards is like, don't do something super out of reach. Like do something that's attainable, but something that is within your reach as well. It doesn't mean you can't shoot for the stars, but that's kind of how I feel like it works with manifestation. And just going through this like mentor day that I did with this woman named Clarissa Cruz, who actually taught me a lot about manifestation. So that is like what I'm doing with life right now. And so far I have checked off a couple things on my vision board
like
this
what?
year. I told myself that I would travel at least 7 times this year. It didn't matter how close or how far. And I've already done a bunch of travel this year. I've gone to BC. I've gone to Arizona. I just recently got back from Costa Rica a month or 2 ago. I'm heading to Miami next week. So like I have a lot going on with traveling. And another one was booking my first paid model gig.
Congrats.
Which was super amazing, and it was pretty life-changing, and the fact that I just felt so amped up the entire time. And another one was actually being able to capture the Northern Lights, which we just did this past weekend.
Yes, that was amazing. For anybody who doesn't know, we just had one of the craziest solar storms in like the last 10 years or something, and Colby got to go out and photograph them in the middle of the night, like beside a lake. I slept through them. I am actually bitter about it a little bit, but it's okay. I'll get over it. We went out the night after where they were supposed to be as good, and we walked out of the restaurant. I was with Colby because we had just done a hike earlier in the day, and they had started, and we got so excited, and we drove out to this lake in the middle of the mountains, and then they totally dropped off, and they weren't there anymore. But Colby got amazing Northern Lights while she was out there.
Yeah, it was so cool. I've seen the Northern Lights one other time when I was living in Manitoba, and they were just straight green and super cool, but nothing that I truly like captured on like an actually good camera. Yeah, there was definitely like a goal of mine to get some good ass aurora shots.
Okay, but tell me how you made this vision board.
I literally just went onto Canva and found a template, and then I found some photos of goals I wanted to achieve this year that I was like, I am achieving this year. Like I'm not letting anything get in my way. And then I also found some really good quotes as well.
Yeah.
That embodied the vision I was aspiring for this year.
Yes, I'm going to make a vision board because I haven't made one like that before. I've written down my goals, but I've never actually made a proper vision board, and you've just inspired me.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, no, I honestly love them. I never actually made one before until I did that little like mentorship with Clarissa 2 years ago now, and that's when I made my first one, and a couple things on that one actually did come true, and I was like, this shit's legit.
But we are going to move into the daily special section of the podcast, which is where we're talking about what is trending, what we're seeing, and how we feel about it. And there are some things that might not be making it onto the vision board because I've seen them trending as going out of style. And I want to talk about it because I have very mixed feelings, and I don't even have mixed feelings. I have strong feelings. And I feel like we need to talk about it. The very first thing I saw this week is that apparently biker shorts with an oversized t-shirt, which to me is a staple outfit, is going out of style.
I always get so confused with certain trends because, and like ones that are, people are like, no, this is out of style, or other people are like, no, this is in style. And it confuses me because it's like, why do we also just want to be like everybody else?
Yes.
I would rather be unique in my style. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure I follow some certain fashion trends, but at the end of the day, if someone's gonna really be upset that you like are still in some trend that was from like 2 years ago, that says a lot more about them than it is gonna be about you. And if you want to be comfortable in your biker shorts and oversized t-shirt, absolutely do it.
100%.
Because personally, I still love doing that in the summertime.
Me too. It's so
like,
comfortable.
It's so quick. It's so easy, especially if you're going to the thrift store. Throwing on some biker shorts, so because some thrift stores now decide that they don't want change rooms anymore, so easy then to just throw on like pants that you want to try on real quick to see if they actually work.
Because apparently the way that the trend is moving is they're saying don't wear biker shorts, but instead wear boxer shorts. Do you own boxer shorts?
No, I have like those like, you know, like how men wear briefs?
Yeah.
I have like the female version of that without the little like
Yeah, that's like the vibe. This is my thought on them. I don't want to go out and buy them because I'm stubborn. So I tried to make them. I tried to sew them and they do not fit. So I'm just going to stick with my biker shorts for now.
I don't know. Like, I feel like I would rather, I'm a very like plain person. And I feel like when it comes to like shorts like that, they have to have some sort of pattern on it for it to really feel like boxer shorts, if that makes sense. Like, I have that vision in my mind of like what boxer shorts look like.
My problem is I can't figure out how to make them not look like pajama shorts.
Yeah.
You know, because to me, boxer shorts and even like the long pant version of that style, like they just feel like pajamas to me, which I guess maybe like people could argue like a lot of other clothes are very much the same.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's my opinion. I still think they're super cute. And I say wear what makes you comfortable, wear what makes you confident and happy. But I'm not ready to give up biker shorts. Same with ankle socks. That's another thing that apparently is on the way out.
That's so weird though, because like sometimes with certain shoes, it looks weird if you don't have ankle socks. In my opinion.
I agree. So that was one trend that I saw that is not going to be moving forward onto the next year's vision board. Maybe it is for some people if you enjoy that. But another trending thing that I have seen is people talking about their passports. And you and I have a passport because we love to travel. But what I've been seeing trending a lot is people are using their passport as kind of a coloring book. Not to color in, but when you go to certain locations, they'll offer you souvenir stamps where you can take the stamp and stamp whatever you're traveling with, and it shows that you've been to that spot. So for example, when I was in the Grand Canyon, I'm pretty sure they had a stamp that you could stamp your passport with. But people are stamping their passports with these souvenir stamps, and this poses a bit of a problem because apparently you can get rejected entry back into whatever country you're traveling to if your passport is defaced. And the stamps that people are adding, they're not realizing aren't legitimate stamps and can be cause for rejection of entry into countries or for your passport to be considered obsolete or vandalized.
Yeah, guilty. I didn't actually really process that because before we jumped on here, you were kind of talking about it. I was like, wait, no, I did that.
Where did you
and
do this?
I even said, I was like, wait, isn't that illegal? But like, it didn't click in my head at the time when it actually happened. So it was when me and my two friends were in Peru in November, and we went to Rainbow Mountain. And one of the things you can do, and you're allowed to get your passport stamp, is to indicate that you went to Rainbow Mountain. And I'm like looking back at this now, and I'm like, oh, no. Did I just screw myself over?
And you did it in your passport.
Yes.
Chloe!
Wait, yeah, I did. Absolutely, I did.
Let's hope that whoever security guard, when they're flipping through, they don't see that.
Dude, and I was going to do it at Machu Picchu too, and then we completely forgot.
Oh my gosh. Imagine. Okay, well, I hope for all of your future travel that they never ever notice it and that you are all good and safe.
Dude, I hope so too, because my passport picture be looking good.
How old were you when you got your passport photo taken?
Dude, I got it redone a year or two ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it's like good.
I'm 15 in mine. It's 10 years ago.
Well,
more than 10 years ago.
I had to get a new one because I got water damage on my previous one when I was in Indonesia, and then I realized to go back to Indonesia, you can't have water damage on your passport.
No.
So I got a new one, and I look good in that. Like, I had someone be like, is that AI? And I was like, yeah, for sure.
Did you do the passport makeup trend? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. That girl, Georgia or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't. I just like made sure I looked really good that day. and loaded on the makeup, and yeah, it looks really good. Even my driver's license picture, that one's good too.
I'm kind of jealous. I thought I was going to be stuck with this picture of me at 15 years old forever, but since I'm getting married this summer, I actually am going to have to change my last name, and that's an excuse to take a better photo.
There you go.
It's going to work out. It's going to work out. Okay, but moving on to the next trending topic, I learned a new term from you this week. Muscle mommies. Explain to me what a muscle mommy is. And before you explain, I just want to preface this by saying Colby is a gym girl. Like she's beautiful. She is a very strong, beautiful girl who you can tell that you go to the gym.
Oh,
like
thank
you look
you.
amazing. So, okay, continue.
One, I'm so surprised you just learned about this term this week, because I feel like within like the female gym community anyways, it's definitely been a term that has been going on for like these like 2 years now. But I guess if you also just like aren't part of the gym community, I can totally respect that you may not know the term. Or it may just not be as prominent as like a gym bro or whatever,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So basically it's just like, I take it as like a word to like uplift the strong women in the gym community. And like, it doesn't mean you have to like lift 5,000 pounds or have the biggest muscles, but it's just like a supportive word in the community to just like uplift the women that are wanting to, you know, like work on their physique and just be strong and healthy. And I have now adapted the term to myself, and a lot of my followers love to call me a muscle mommy as well, just because I have some nice quads and like a big butt and a nice back as well. So yeah.
And to clarify, you don't have to be a mother to be a muscle mommy.
No, you do not need to be a mother. I mean, like, I'm a cat mom, but not a baby mom. So no, you do not need.
That's really cool. Because to be honest, I hadn't stepped foot in a gym in years since this week. I returned to it this week. I just got a Good Life membership yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to start going back because Hamish is telling me that my glutes are weak. I'm not where you are. I got to start going back.
You said your glutes are weak?
They are. Because my physio told me my glutes are weak. She's like, you need to grow your glutes. So that's what I got to do. It's what I got to do. So I got a gym membership. But I think maybe that's why I've just been doing like yoga, and that's it. That's all I've been doing. And yoga girls, I don't see anybody calling them muscle mommies.
No, I don't know what term you would call them, but like, yeah,
like
the
yogi
gym
girl.
yogi girl,
Like
yeah,
a
the
yogi.
gym girls though are, you know, muscle mommies.
Okay, but you had a trending topic that is not related to muscle mommies, but it is maybe related to mothers.
Yeah.
And it has to do with baby names.
Yeah, so there was this like thing going around on TikTok with Francesca from Too Hot to Handle, because her and her partner are having twins. And
Twins?
Yeah.
I knew they were having a baby, but I didn't know they were having
yeah,
twins.
I believe it's twins. They had posted one of those videos saying like, these are the names we thought about, but we're not choosing. And no shade to her and her partner, but some of them were a little out of the box. And I thought it was hilarious because people, you know, would comment on the video or stitch the video and just be so crazy with like how they would respond. Like they were initially like just making fun of it, and some of them were hilarious. Like I remember like looking back at some of these videos, and one of them was like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna name my kid mitochondria, nickname like the best atom or something in the like
the powerhouse of the cell.
The powerhouse of the cell. There you go. I don't know if you saw that one or like.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, no, but that one, I was like, that one took me out. And like someone else was saying like, yeah, I'm gonna name my child like refrigerator, short for Reefy or something like that. And it was just like so funny. And I'm so like here for the unique baby names, but I always find that it's the celebrities who are jumping on the trend of having to have the most unique baby names in the entire world.
They just gotta stand out.
Yeah, like if you look at the Kardashian family, like North, West,
Northwest, Stormy,
yeah.
baby.
There's so many other ones too. I don't pay attention
and
enough.
then didn't she name her son Wolf, or she changed it Wolfie, or did she change the baby's name?
Yo, I don't know that.
I don't know
that one.
And then even Nara Smith
Yeah.
has some unique baby names. Like there's like Rumble Honey Smith, and what is her newest baby's name? Whimsy Lou.
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
No. What the?
Yeah. Have you thought about baby names? First of all, do you want children?
You know, I've had this conversation with a lot of people over the last few years, and if you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would want a baby, I would say absolutely not. However, not that I'm saying I need to have kids or it is a priority of mine, but I've come to the realization that if I find the right person to have a child with, then I can consider it. But right now, that is not a priority in my life, and it will never be the number one priority in my life just because there are so many things in life that I need to accomplish first. Also, in this day and age, having a kid is stupid expensive. Absolutely not.
It really is. I actually just watched a video today on how so many people our age, and we're in our 20s, are financially dependent or supported by our parents. And it's like, if we didn't have support in any way, that we wouldn't be able to survive.
Yeah, like the one thing I miss about living at home is being able to milk living at home for like free.
Yeah, it is nice. I visited my parents on the weekend and we got some really good meals from them. Yeah. So thanks, Mom. The dinner was delicious. But it's nice.
I know when my mom comes and visits me, she takes me on a shopping spree for groceries. I'm like, fuck yeah, free groceries.
That's so nice. I'm like, take me to Costco.
That's just like, I feel like this trend of like interesting baby names is like, you can still find unique names, but I don't think it needs to be that out of the box.
Have you thought of baby names if you were to ever have babies, or has that not crossed your mind?
I have. I really like, for a boy, and for the longest time, I really liked the name Bentley.
Aww.
And then for a girl, I really like the name Olivia.
Those are nice names.
Yeah.
I have a whole list in my phone.
I'm not
baby
surprised.
Names. I have a whole huge list. I haven't picked out like my top choices, but if I were to have 27 children, I would have 27 names that I could give them.
Insane. Insane.
I don't know. I feel like, also, though, I'm like getting married. Like, eventually I know that I do want children. So it's in the back of my head.
Absolutely. I think like, even though we're the same age, we still are at like different levels of life. Yeah. You know, like I'm still like someone who is single and like just living life. And you are someone who has a partner that you will be long term with, if not forever, you know? Like, yeah. You guys are going to be forever. And
okay, I was chatting with Hamish about baby names. And okay, I brought up a bunch of names that were a little bit out there, but Hamish is totally not on board. And they're not like fully out there. They're not like names you've never heard before. Like some of the names that you're seeing floating around right now. Do you have examples of the names that Francesca shared?
Heart. Like Heart or HART.
Yeah.
Lovely. Oh, baby.
Yeah. Imagine being an adult and being like, hi, my name is Baby.
Hello, Judge Baby at your service. Like, what?
I guess there's Baby Driver, right? Remember that movie, Baby Driver? And that guy's name was Baby? Was it not?
I don't think his name was Baby, but
he just called himself Baby?
I think, yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, I haven't picked out my names yet because obviously I'm not pregnant. But I've thought about it. But we're going to move into the On the Rock section of this podcast, which is where we talk about all the juicy and good stuff, like the drama, the gossip, the crazy stories. And Colby over here, she told me before she came on that she is the queen of drama. She's got it all. She has lots of stories to talk about. More than we need to talk about.
Probably, yeah.
But we're going to try to narrow it down and just talk about a few. And I'm going to let you take the lead on this.
Let's start with one that just happened last night.
Last night, girl.
Yeah, it's all fresh and juicy. So, the beginning of May, I had a spa place here in Calgary reach out to me to do a collaborative post on Instagram promoting one of their services, and they had asked me what my budget was. I had messaged them back giving them my budget, but also saying that I am more than happy to negotiate to fit their needs. And I was also just like, never had some sort of service like this actually pay me. So I was like super excited.
So to clarify, they will be paying you to be posting about them.
Yes. We were like going back and forth and stuff, and we confirmed the date, and they asked me for my email and phone number so that they could book me in. And this was all like last Wednesday. And now it's last night. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to them, and just because I hadn't received a confirmation or a contract, I reached out to them and I said, hey, you know, I haven't received any like confirmation, the intake form. Also, like, is there a contract? Do you guys have one? If not, I can send one over right now. She just messages me and says, yes, I just sent you the confirmation. So I go to my email, fill out the confirmation, fill out the outtake form, which is like, you know how like spa services are, like they ask you about health concerns, all of that. So it's a pretty like hefty thing that you're filling out. It probably took me like 5 minutes. I go back to my Instagram DMs to let her know that I like filled everything out. And so this is how the conversation went. I said, hey, I never received a booking confirmation, but I will assume everything is good for tomorrow. Also, is there a contract I need to sign, or should I send one over? If so, I do need an email. She said, hi, I just sent the confirmation email. I like left the chat, went to go fill that out. And then she says, just wanted to confirm that this is an Instagram reel, a story, and a TikTok post. So I want you guys to remember that at the beginning of me saying this, there was no indication of posting on TikTok. And so the rate we agreed on was based on what the Instagram deliverables would be. And I know we never really like discussed the deliverables in depth, but in my head, I assumed a couple stories and one Instagram post dedicated to them, which was part of the rate. I said, hi, the type of deliverables were never discussed for the price we agreed on. That would include either a TikTok post or an Instagram reel and then 2 to 3 stories. Is this okay with you? They respond saying, no, sorry. Sorry, it was my mistake. I should have confirmed this earlier. I've decided not to go ahead. Thank you. And I'm sitting there being like, what the fuck?
So you've gone through all of the negotiation, confirmed the date, everything, and then they changed their deliverables on you last minute, expecting more.
Yeah.
And when you said, no, we're going to stick with what I originally chatted with you about, they decided, just kidding, we're not going to do this.
Yeah. I was like, what? And this is 12 hours before my appointment.
Oh, no.
So I'm like, what the heck? So I respond. I had to make sure this sounded like professional as shit, okay? So I was like, hi, blank. I'm writing to express my concern regarding the cancellation of our collaboration on such short notice. Being informed just 12 hours prior is quite unprofessional. I take my work commitments very seriously and find this situation unacceptable. I had reserved tomorrow morning specifically for our collaboration, which you initiated and could have otherwise scheduled another job or client. I hope that in the future you will approach collaborations with greater consideration. Best regards, Colby. All they responded with was, we are really sorry about this. With so many messages, we completely lost track. Thank you for your understanding. I don't know if there's anything I need to understand more than they need to understand what they did was totally not okay.
That's very unprofessional. And unfortunately, being in the influencer industry myself, this happens all the time.
I knew it was going to happen to me at one point where someone was going to like screw me over in a sense. And I didn't think it was going to be this place, unfortunately. But it happened to me. And I mean, at some point it is going to happen to everybody in this space. I just think as a business standpoint, I just don't get it because I know from an aesthetic services, you actually get charged a cancellation fee if you cancel within 24 to 48 hours. Mm-hmm. And the people in this industry do get upset when people do this because not all the time can they fill that spot then to make that money. Now, not to say that I had turned down another opportunity for this opportunity, but I could have been in that position where someone was offering me more money at that exact time that day and I had to turn it down.
Or you could have, signing that contract, thought, okay, this is going to pay for my rent. Like, I'm all good for the month. And all of a sudden you're put in a financial position where you're compromised.
Yeah.
You're not able to do so. Or like you said, could have taken another job that you've turned down because you had expectations with another person that you were loyal to because they contacted you first.
Yeah, I think brands are just like really like pushing buttons here sometimes, you know. Yeah. I don't think they always realize that this is our jobs and we do take this very seriously just as much as you are going to be taking your job seriously. Just because we don't have your typical 9-to-5 sit down desk job doesn't mean our time, our efforts, our money isn't as valued as yours.
Absolutely. I will start by saying as an influencer, I do feel incredibly privileged and grateful for all of the opportunities that I'm given, and I don't want to take that for granted at all.
Absolutely.
Because it's like amazing that we get to do this at all. But one of my personal pet peeves working in the industry is when there is a client who rushes content and you need to get this in by this deadline and the deadline is in 3 days and I know that you're traveling and blah, 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 but you got to get it in. And then you do all of this rush work for them, you get it through, and then they don't pay you for months and months and months. And you were very clear in your contract about the invoicing terms of when they need to be paying you. You put net 30 or whatever on the contract and the payment just doesn't come through in time. And then all of a sudden it's 3, 6, 12 months later and you still haven't been paid. I got paid today by a brand that I had invoiced over a year ago. And I had put net 14, I'm pretty sure, on the contract. And so it's not just that one incident that you're facing, but it's a really frustrating experience that I think lots of people are facing where it's just they're not taken seriously in the job of doing content creation.
My friend today, he's been waiting weeks now for payments from brands that they sent the invoice almost a month ago. And they did, give them a deadline on when this needed to be paid, and had even, I think with one of the brands, stated that if it goes past the due date, like, I will start charging interest because he has shit to pay for. Mm-hmm. Like, we have bills too, like, things are expensive. And if that's like the money they're relying on to pay certain things, like, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, we'll pay this in 6 months type deal.
Like, if terms were super loosey-goosey and just, like, chatting over the phone, I can maybe see where things would get a little bit pushed back or not taken as seriously. But when it's outlined in a contract and you're meeting your side of the contract and that brand or whoever they are, client, isn't meeting theirs, that's where it just gets a little bit frustrating.
For those of you who are out there in this industry right now, you're not alone and you have a whole community behind you.
Absolutely. And stick to your guns. Track those brands down. Had I not consistently messaged this one brand that I finally got the payment for today, I don't think I would have ever got paid, if I'm being completely honest. And it's because when they weren't paying me and I was emailing them like every so often saying, hey, you owe me this much, my invoice is overdue. And then it finally came to me commenting on their Instagram where they got over 10 million followers saying, hey, you need to pay your creators. That's when it finally came through. And so stick to your guns if you haven't been paid. Know that there's a whole community behind you supporting you. But on the topic of influencers, there is something happening online that I think we need to talk about because it is on the rocks. It is drama, and it has to do with a very specific influencer who posted about the Met Gala and is now facing crazy amounts of backlash, not just for her personally, but for celebrities across all different fields. So let's talk about it. There's an influencer named Hailey Bailey, and I am going to name her because her name is all over the internet. Hailey Bailey posted a TikTok with an audio that was trending at the time, and the audio starts by saying, let them eat cake. And then it goes into music. Yeah. And while she posted this TikTok, she was dressed in a Marie Antoinette inspired outfit because that kind of fit along with the theme of the Met Gala this year. The theme had to do with gardens and foliage and all this different stuff. Anyways, she posted this video of her saying this audio, just lip syncing and then dancing where she appeared to be at the Met Gala. And immediately she received a ton of backlash online. Tons of backlash because of the conflicts that are happening with Israel and Palestine. There's so much stuff happening right now, but basically the feedback was that there are people who are dying in what is basically an ongoing genocide. And you are at the Met Gala saying, let them eat cake, not just to do with the wars that are happening, but people who just can't afford groceries in America or Canada or countries that are considered privileged, where these horrible wars and genocide aren't even happening. And they're saying, you're telling me to eat cake? Like, let them eat cake? People were very, very upset by this TikTok. And so it started a movement. It started with people just stitching her video and saying, like, really, Hailey Bailey, really, like, this is what you're going to have as your message because you haven't addressed any of the ongoing societal issues that are happening beyond your little bubble. But then it went a lot more than that. One guy came forward and said, let's start a block party. And what is the block party? We're going to block any celebrity or major influencer who hasn't used their platform to speak about the ongoing issues happening in society. So that's the genocides happening. That's any sort of not bringing attention to humanitarian aid and getting support. It's not speaking out against injustice. And why are we going to block them? Because celebrities and influencers have a lot of their income coming from views. With creator programs, with advertisements, a lot of that has to do with how many eyes are on their platforms. And if you block them, you are blocking off that entire channel of revenue for them. And you're sending the message, you need to use your platform to speak up about injustice.
Yes.
And so that is what started happening. And now, all of a sudden, not just Hailey Bailey, who's losing over 100,000 followers in a span of a couple days, but other celebrities like Kim Kardashian, Taylor Swift, massive celebrities, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, they are losing followers by the second, and you can go online and watch their numbers dropping live because people are blocking them. And it's kind of crazy because this is a massive movement that we haven't quite seen on social media yet. So what happened after all of this is Hailey Bailey came to the forefront and she said, you guys, I need to make an apology. And she made an apology video. Now in this video, this is where it also upset a lot of people. To begin with, she said, I was not educated enough to speak on the topic, which I understand if you're not educating, wanting to speak on a topic, but where it struck a chord for a lot of people is it's been 7 months where she hasn't made any sort of statement, not even putting a link in her bio on a GoFundMe to support a family in need. So that was the very first thing, just not doing anything to educate herself when she does have the resources to do so.
Absolutely.
Second of all, she said, you know what, guys? I wasn't actually even at the Met Gala. And people were so upset she was at the Met Gala specifically because it's $75,000 to buy a ticket to the Met Gala. So she said, you know what? I'm actually not even cool enough to get invited to the Met Gala. I was at the before interviewing people segment. I was at the hotel just interviewing people. I didn't even go to the Met Gala. I wasn't invited. I'm a normal person. Went to some after parties after. But you guys, I am not that cool or rich. Okay. And then she says, I didn't even pay my costume designer who helped design this outfit I was wearing. I didn't even pay him for that because I'm just a normal person like you guys. So her apology initially when you're watching it can come off genuine. You know, it's like, oh, people are getting mad at her because they thought that she was just going and frivolously spending $75,000 on a ticket to the Met Gala. She actually didn't. She was at the before thing interviewing people, which she was invited by a company to do so. She was at a party after, whatever. It wasn't as big of a deal. But people were really quick to call out that when she made this apology video, she did so in a part of her house that did not display how beautiful her apartment actually is, because she's living in New York. And when she's saying, I'm just a normal person, she is trying to come across, according to how some people are alleging their opinion of her, as I'm not rich. Like, don't attack me. Attack the celebrities who actually went to the Met Gala. But earlier, a few months earlier, she had done a apartment tour video. And guess how much she's paying for rent?
Wasn't it like $7,000 or something like that?
17
Oh, fuck.
$1,000 US per month.
I wish.
Can you imagine?
I don't even make that much a month.
I think most people don't make that
like,
amount a month. Some people make that amount in a year.
Right.
So people were really quick to be like $17,000 per month. That still seems like you're pretty well set up. And then if you're making so much money, why are you not paying your costume designer who's putting together this extravagant outfit?
The fact that she like said that just seems like you just threw yourself under the bus, babe.
Yeah. And then to go on with that, she made it in a part of her house that didn't look super fancy. So she wasn't playing up her beautiful home. But in the background, she's got this huge LED light bed that you can lay underneath that she had talked about in this video.
Oh, the red light one.
The red light therapy, which by the way, I love red light therapy. That's
Me too.
a whole different tangent. But she had that in the background and people are like, you know what? You are saying all of this, but you still have the capacity to make a difference. And you're not. And so it went a lot more than just her making a statement saying she was at the Met Gala, people getting upset and her apologizing. There's more to it. And anyways, that is drama on the internet. And if you want to do a deep dive, go and check it out. And while we're on the topic, I'm just going to note that if you click into the description of this video, I'm going to be linking different GoFundMe links if you want to go and support people who are in need right now in Rafah, who are being affected by what is happening. And I'm going to also provide resources so that if you are wanting to get educated on this topic that we touched on, that you can. So it's in the description of this video so that you can go and learn more about it yourself.
I also want to throw out there that Macklemore actually just released a song too to help with funds. So if you use the sound on, I believe, TikTok or even just like download it on Apple Music or Spotify, every single time someone does that, it's proceeds towards those in need.
And on that topic, with the celebrity block list, apparently Macklemore's not on it. So you're okay there. On to our next topic for On the Rocks. How hard was it for you to get your name as your handle?
I mean, my name, pretty unique, I'm going to say. It's Colby. You really don't hear that often. I think I kind of screwed myself over by not actually being able to put just like Colby Plett. I do have to have an extra Y in it, because I think when Instagram was first coming out, I made an account that was just Colby Plett. I forgot the login and I could never. Yeah, so I kind of screwed myself over on that one. So I don't even think I can get it, but I'm okay with having the extra Y, and my last name also too. Like, you'll never find someone named Colby Plett.
I don't know any other Colby Pletts. Yeah. You're the only one I know. For me, Chloë Chapdelaine, I thought that would be kind of a unique name. But when I went to go and get it, some other girl posted in 2013 once, like literally like on Christmas, a selfie. And then she's never posted again. And I've tried to get the handle and I couldn't get it. So I've just accepted that it's going to be Chloe.Chapdelaine. Also, this is a shameless plug to everybody. Go and check us out. Colby Plett with 2 Y's. And then Chloe.Chapdelaine is my handle if you want to go and check out our personal social media handles. But on the topic of getting your name as your handle, there is a story that is happening right now that lots of people are buzzing around, because there was somebody who thought that they deserved a handle that they could not get. This is how it went. There was a girl by the name of Catherine Asplund who allegedly married a billionaire, and she was ready to change her last name, as you often do when you get married. So it was time for her to change her handle to her new last name, and she went to go and do it, and the handle that she wanted was taken by somebody else. So she said, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to send them a message. So she DMs the person with this account. She could see it was an active account, so they were likely going to respond, and they did. So here is how it went. So the newly named Catherine Asplund messaged this person with the handle that she wanted and said, "Hi, I was wondering if I could purchase your username from you. Just got married and this is my new name, !" The person responds, "Hi, congrats. That's my name too. I just Googled it and it said that my username would be banned from Instagram because, for reference, if you buy and sell handles on Instagram, it's actually against their terms of service. You're not supposed to sell usernames, but you can transfer usernames to other people if you ask for them nicely."
Wait, what? I've never really looked into this, so I'm kind of confused. Like, how do you switch it over?
So what this girl's asking is she would send this girl an e-transfer, and the girl would then accept the e-transfer. She just got paid out. She would change her username to something else, meaning that the username is now free. So that's how that would work. And so that's what she wanted to do. She wanted this girl to change her username to something else so that she could now own the handle. So the girl said, "Hi, congrats. That's my name too. I just Googled it and selling my username would get me banned from Instagram." So then Catherine Asplund responded and said, "I purchased my username in the past. Actually, that's not true. Celebrities do it all the time, and that's how they have their handles as their full names. So weird. I didn't know there was another Asplund's family out there. There's no Catherine Asplund in our family, period." Which to me, the vibes, I don't know.
I think she could have
the
gone
vibes
about
aren't very
that.
kind, you know?
Yeah,
it just
she could
seems
have
very
approached that a little differently.
accusatory. So then Catherine sends another message and says, "I see that you're not that active on here, but started Instagram in 2018, but changed your username 3 times, ? Is there any way I can get you to change your username one more time, ? With then 4 crying laughing faces. The girl said, "This is my Finsta. I use it for private stories." So the girl is kind of holding her ground. She's saying, you know, this is my username. Like, I don't really want to change it. And this Catherine girl, she's not giving up. So then she sends another message. Catherine says, "I actually don't believe that your name is Catherine Asplund, who would make their Finsta their actual name. I reported you to Instagram and they're able to tell me your real name. I really hope I don't know you because that's going to be really embarrassing for you." So what Catherine is now accusing this girl of is that she made a fake handle recently because she knew that Catherine was going to have a new name, and she's doing it as somebody specifically to spite Catherine. As if other people might not have the exact same name. How full of yourself do you have to be to think that, oh, I'm going to get married. Somebody obviously just made an account with my name because they don't want me to have that handle.
I mean, like, girl, I'm going to be honest with you. Catherine is a very common name.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that right now, because if it was me, you know, Colby marrying somebody else, very, very unlikely that the person I marry is going to have a last name that I would never be able to switch my Instagram handle to.
Yeah.
You know, like, babe, I'm sorry to tell you, but yeah, your name is not unique.
Also, I want to just backtrack on the point that she's like, Instagram can tell me your real name. They're not going to tell some random girl who wants another girl's handle your real name. But anyways, it continues. The girl says, you can report me. And then Catherine says, just did. My fiance is too. And then the other girl says, you're asking me to do something to get my account banned. I doubt Instagram would take that lightly. And then Catherine says, I'm asking you to change your username because you were pretending to be someone that you're not. And then the other girl says, my name is Catherine. And then Catherine says, which is illegal. Oh, girl.
Wait, what?
And then the other girl goes, no, you were asking me to purchase a new Instagram handle, which actually that is against Instagram's terms of conditions. So that is what's breaking the rules. But anyways, I just need to have a moment. How do you have that much audacity? You know, the audacity that this girl, Catherine Asplund, whatever her name is, Catherine has.
I just like, I don't understand like that much energy you need to put into it. I don't know. Like if the girl said no, then it's like, well, I guess I can't really like do anything about it. And like this girl has a right to like say no at the same time. And I mean, like with it being against Instagram's policy, Instagram, you're not hearing this from me right now, but like, how is Instagram going to know if someone paid you to change their name?
Yeah,
you know what
true.
I mean?
That's true. That's true.
How are they really going to know you are changing their name? Because they don't have access to your bank statements, babe.
How much would somebody have to pay you to change your handle?
My handle? I mean, if I could, you know, unscrew myself and like go back to, you know, just Colby Plett instead of Colby YY Plett. And someone wanted Colby with an extra Y Plett. I mean, like, well, if they're offering a lot of money, I'm not going to say no. But I guess to me, it's just like, I've never really thought about it until now. I guess I would want a good chunk of money if they're willing to offer it. But like, if they're like for $10, I'm like, no, I'm not.
Okay, how much would it have to be? Say that you couldn't get the actual just Colby Plett back. You're giving up Colby with an extra Y and you can't get the other one.
Honestly, $5,000.
That's a pretty good number.
I think that's a good number. That's like at least a month's rent and like
and a bit.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think like $5,000. But it's funny because last weekend I was with two of my friends, Tobiah and Darren. You know who Tobiah is. And we were actually talking about how some people or their one friend was wanting a certain Instagram name, but some old man had it.
No.
And like they wanted to reach out to the old man to like have the name. I can't remember if they actually like did or not, but yeah.
That's kind of hilarious.
I thought that was like so funny.
It happens. It happens. But we are going to move into the shaken, not stirred section of the podcast. And I have something that shook me. It was just a little quote today, but it was that there's going to be a point in our lives, you and me, where we can say to children, yeah, we're older than AI. You and I will be like, we existed and we lived through our childhood before AI existed. And there will be children who only know life with AI.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, yeah, we grew up without it. And I feel like we're just going to feel really old.
Yeah, we had to learn the hard way on everything.
And that just made me feel a little bit shook.
That we're getting old.
Yeah. But you have something that shook me as well.
Yeah. It physically shook me. I'm going to tell you that right now. For those of you who don't know, and I think it's a pretty common thing of not knowing, so that's okay. Ticks fall from trees. Yeah, I was never told I had to fear trees during tick season. I only had to fear grass, which to me, yeah, that makes sense. But 2 weekends ago, I was in Caslow, BC for a family function. And I came home a couple days later and I was washing my hair in the shower. And I have extensions. And so I thought I had like a hair mat in my hair. No, it was a tick. So there I am, wet, naked, and panicking for my life that I might now have Lyme disease.
But you're on medication now.
I just started some medication, yeah, but that was like a huge like, what the hell moment. Like, that literally physically shook me because I had no idea
That's
that
horrifying.
ticks fell from trees. Like, what?
I have learned so much about ticks because I did a study on Lyme disease for one of my capstone projects in journalism. And so I learned all about Lyme disease in Alberta specifically and how it can affect people's lives. And I got to speak with people who are personally affected. And it's scary stuff. I could go into an entire podcast talking about Lyme disease and ticks in Alberta and the Alberta healthcare system and how doctors view Lyme disease and all of that. But if you get a tick this season and you notice that you have one, try to keep it. And if you can, take it to the doctor with you so that they can view it. Colby was unable to do that because she was in the shower and it got washed down the drain.
Yeah, that was not my... I honestly didn't even know you needed to keep the tick either, to be honest.
So this is a good education moment. If you're listening and you get a tick, keep it. And keep an eye on your site. If you get a bullseye rash, make sure you go to the doctor and just get checked out. There's no harm in just getting looked at. But
and be careful around trees, guys, because those are dangerous too, apparently, now.
And on that note, we are going to move on to the bottoms up section of the podcast, which is where we quickly talk about one thing that we are obsessed with. And I am currently obsessed with planning my wedding because I got a lot done this week. I just want to list off all the things I got done. I went and got custom rings sized, and like we chatted with the jeweler with Hamish and I for our wedding bands. I went and got my dress fitted to be bustled. Hamish went and got fitted for a suit. I ordered my wedding shoes and earrings and veil.
And your shoes came in.
And they came in today and I haven't even opened them. Colby brought them in the box when she showed up at my door today. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that's exciting for me. The wedding's in July. And I'm going to talk about a lot more in the upcoming episodes because I'm getting excited. But what are you obsessed with right now?
Not as cool as Chloe's obsession right now. However, I have been very obsessed with iced dirty chais.
I think that's just as cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like got on this kick. I used to be like, I sometimes get like fears of trying certain foods and like the way things taste and like if they are a weird combination. I get a little bit of a fear of it. I don't know what you would call that, but I do. And for the longest time, I had a fear of chai.
A fear of chai?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it. But yeah, I had a fear of chai. And one day I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try chai. And then I became in love with the Starbucks chai lattes. And then I like realized in my head, I'm like, wait, I don't think there's like any caffeine or like very little caffeine in this. So I need to add caffeine. And I was like, dirty chai.
That's so good. I love a dirty iced chai.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's the drink of the summer. We are nearing the end of this episode. So for everybody who listened, go check out Colby on her social media. Thank you for being on this episode with me today.
Thank you so much for having me. I was so pumped.
It was great having you on. We had planned to talk about a ton of stuff and we like didn't even touch on half of it. So you're going to have to come on another episode. Yes. But if you are still listening up until this very point, make sure that you leave a 5-star review. I read every single review and you guys, we hit 35. We hit 35 5-star reviews. I just dropped my phone. I think it's okay. Hopefully. Yep, we're good. For real. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate all of you. And until next time, cheers!